Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for the InFocus Envision sneak peek. My name is Christina Yu with Quest Oracle Community, and you're here with Chantel Corey with LSB. And before we get started and start talking about InFocus Envision, a couple of housekeeping notes for you. Your phone lines are muted, but if you have questions, drop them through the question module, and we'll spend some time answering those questions throughout. I'll try to do my best to monitor those as they come through, but at least we'll answer everything at the end. Also, we'll be recording this, so if you have anything that you want to see again, you'll be able to rewatch it. So again, my name is Christine Yu with Quest Oracle Community. I'm part of our customer learning team and have been working with the community on planning for InFocus. We have Chantel Corey with LSB, as I mentioned, so I'll turn it over to her for just a few minutes here to tell us a little bit about herself and her experience with JD Edwards.
Good morning. I am Chantel Corey, and I work for LSB Industries. We are a chemical manufacturing company based in Oklahoma City and manufacture products for industrial, agricultural, and mining industries. I've been working with JD Edwards software since 1995 and been involved with Quest and attending since 2014. I began presenting at Quest in 2017 and joined the Knowledge Committee in 2019. So it's been a busy few years for myself and Quest.
Dang, I didn't realize. I feel like you've been around the Knowledge Committee for a lot longer than that, and just your speaking feels like you've been, at least since I've been here, you've been around. So I guess it just
It
seems
feels like it, yes.
for a while. Well, Chantel, thank you first off for joining us. I know, like you mentioned, you're very involved with Quest, not only as being a speaker, but also in the Knowledge Committee and everything else in between. So thank you for joining us here. Before we get started, because I did a really bad job on another one of these, but I wanted to make sure that everybody understands some of the logistical pieces first. So InFocus Envision is next month. It's hard to believe. We're almost in April, but it's April 12th through the 15th. It is a full virtual conference where you can plan ahead, hear about roadmaps, product updates, enhancements, and more around the JD Edwards product itself. So we will be talking about that today, about a little bit about what Chantel sees at InFocus, what I've been seeing, just pretty open conversation about what is to come. So again, InFocus Envision, April 12th through the 15th in a virtual platform. You can attend all new, all digital JD Edwards content from your house or from your office. So as you mentioned, Chantel, you've been a part of the Knowledge Committee, and I know you were really involved in ranking and providing feedback this time around in it. Which, for folks that don't know, Knowledge Committee is the team of customers that go through all the sessions. They rank, they select, they talk to us about why they want the content. So, Chantel, as you were reviewing this content, can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the overarching themes you saw in the content?
Sure. So I usually participate in the technical selections, either on the upgrade or pure technical. Orchestrator is still dominating the conference. It's such a great tool. We all want to know more about it and how to use it better. I'm always looking for good information on security and staying code current, and there are plenty of sessions available for those as well.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. We've talked about this a few times, just how many more orchestrator sessions we get year over year over year, even from the fall, right? And the customer cases that we're having from it. Something I thought that was pretty cool this year was the functional standpoint of orchestrator. We hadn't seen that for a little bit. It was a lot of the technical side. So now some of those use cases and code current, that I feel like now, for a while there, we've only seen a lot of partners, Oracle talking about it. We've got several customers now talking about code current. You've been talking a lot about some of this too for a while now as a customer, but it's fun to see some others starting to talk about it, right?
Well, it just shows that all of these things are really maturing. Orchestrator is getting out there, and companies are starting to use it and do really cool things with it. And customers are starting to wrap their heads around this code current business that Oracle's been talking about for 3 or 4 years now. So that's when I get excited for the sessions coming in, when everything starts to mature.
Oh no, definitely. And I like the breadth and depth of what we're seeing right now, right? It's not just all in one area. It's really starting to be completely cross-functional and all around the products and just different cases, different industries. So pretty excited to
Right.
see what those turn out to. And, as you know, we've got several things coming down the pipe of, networking sessions. Speaking of networking sessions, I know you're hosting the UDO SIG. Can you talk a little bit about what the UDO SIG and what you guys might be doing?
Sure. So the UDO SIG, you mentioned the word cross-functional. It's one of my favorite things about the UDO SIG is the fact that it's one of the rare SIGs that is both functional and technical. Um, Being technical and leading the SIG, I know we participants probably say we lean technical, but involving the functional areas and really learning more about what customers are doing with UDOs is really important to our SIG, so that we can share ideas and swap experiences. Um, but it's a great SIG with everything that has continued to come out in 9.2, from E1 search to the orchestra. I consider orchestrator a UDO personally. Not everybody does. They kind of put it in a bucket outside, but I keep trying to drag it back in because it's managed as a UDO in JD Edwards. So I try to lay claim to it a little bit. Um, so one of the things that I try to do with the UDO SIG, not just at the conferences, but we meet every other month generally with an open presentation, and I try to switch those back and forth between having a customer come in and present some use cases and show how they're really using one UDO or another, and then on the alternate presentations, I look for more technical presentations. How are people managing UDOs, which is a pretty big lift.
Yeah.
That's my life. So I'm always excited to bring people in that I can learn from there.
No, that's awesome. And I think it's really cool as you were talking about the cross-functional piece, right? Like you guys are putting it in place and now you're able to see what's happening. And, that's, I think, a big
Right.
theme around what's going on with JD Edwards, right? Like the technical side has been working so hard to get these new features and functionalities. And it's really cool now to see the use cases and it being put to action kind of, right? And that's,
Yeah, almost 30 years ago now, I started in JD Edwards development, and not too long after went out into the world and working in customers. And it's always a different universe. Customers are so creative in what we try to do with what they deliver. And so it's exciting to see those things coming to fruition now.
I think it's really cool. And I know, you attended in the fall and there was just a lot of buzz, I think, around the JD Edwards product and what was going on and how people are using it. So, I'd say we all probably miss face to face. I know I
Absolutely.
definitely, I definitely miss it. I definitely miss seeing you guys and having some fun. But, Quest has spent a lot of time really trying to think through other ways to create these virtual events outside of just education after education, right? I think most people know we've done digital for a while. We have webinars, we have weeks. Can you talk a little bit maybe about what you're excited about around some of the networking components that we have?
Yeah, so I'm always excited to attend all the SIG meetings. The UDO SIG is kind of a child of the larger tech SIG, and I'm always excited to see my friends there and hear their ideas because they're amazing and brilliant. Um, Last year on the online conferences, I did attend a couple of like attendee match sessions, and that was kind of fun because unlike being at the conference in person where you can walk around and you just meet people accidentally, this was kind of the same kind of session. I got to go in and I didn't know necessarily, I believe that was the set of sessions you guys put together with just some non JD Edwards interests.
Yep, it was.
So you could pop into a room and talk about a movie or talk about music or be human with other
Yeah.
people, and that's a pretty big lift in a virtual conference, I think. So that was really fun. Um, I also always love the vendor showcase. I know it can be a double-edged sword for some people, but it's always fun to see the vendors that we work with and get to hang out face to face or screen to screen as it is right now. Um, and if you ask any vendors, most of them will tell you, yes, I come and harass all of them. I like to know what's available. I like to know what's going on out there. And vendors can be on the cutting edge of things, so you just never know what kind of solutions you're going to find. So I'm a conference rat. I love it all.
No, I love it. You've hit on so many things that I think, we're, from somebody that's helped been planning it and everything, it's really cool to hear you talk about some of these pieces, right? Attendee match, for folks that don't know, is essentially speed networking, right? Speed dating to
Yeah.
some degree on a topic. And you go in, you talk to people, I think they were set for 6 to 8 minutes. I don't remember exact logistics on that one, but you got to just share your camera and talk to somebody. And, it's cool to hear you say that those are really fun because, the concept that we were coming down was those hallway conversations that you're missing,
Yeah,
right? Where you're sitting next to somebody or at lunch or breakfast or,
exactly.
whatever that may look like. So, things like the attendee matches, the coffee and connects in the morning where they buy products, the SIG meetings, the round tables, those pieces. And of course the show floor, I think people forget about the show floor sometimes. And, to your point, it's a great place to see vendors and where they're being innovative at. And, the JD Edwards community is fully supported by those vendors and they're excited to be there. And, just being on the show floor a few times and seeing the sneak peeks of what people are doing right now, it's really cool to see how innovative they're being too in this virtual environment and how to engage
Right.
with everybody.
Yeah,
And of course, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I
yeah.
didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. So, we've had two virtual conferences so far, I believe. The first one, the vendors were kind of getting their legs under them a little bit, but the
Yeah.
second one, I think some of them really got into it. We had some fun, like um, uh, the games they were playing were too fun
Yeah.
in the
No,
fall. And
totally.
I, like I said, I'm a total conference rat in these things, so I will go when I'm in person, pick up all the toys and play all the games, and I try to do the same thing online because it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and they're excited to see their customers, right?
Right.
And see prospects and everything. And they've had some fun stuff. I know a couple of folks had cocktail mixologist in, they had
Yes.
trivia games going on. They still brought backdrops and they just really brought their A game, I would
Yeah.
say, around what's going on. And of course the demos, there were tons of
Right.
extra content that you got
I
to
know there's work involved too, but
Yes,
but
well, every
they've done
event
a
you have
good
to have a little
job.
bit of both, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they've
yeah,
done a good
no,
job. Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited about them and just continue to build what that looks like. So,
Right.
we've talked a lot about, I think, just some of the really fun things that are going on, which, is cool to see that in a virtual environment, you can bring that
Right.
into place. Now, for other folks, there are some folks that have never been to our events before. So would you recommend any key sessions or highlights that you are most interested in to some of these attendees?
So I am a CNC, so I pretty much, my interests usually lie in the technical areas. There are a couple of sessions I'm really excited about. Um, Orchestrating system administrator functions. Everybody's getting in on the orchestrator. It's fun to see that I'm going to get to do it too, and get some value out of it. There's a couple of sessions. One, just creating the orchestrations. I think there's another one on turning those into mobile apps, which is really exciting. Um, there's a session on database blocking that I think is going to be really helpful for me. And another one on E1 search, which is one of the UDOs that we have not implemented at LSB yet. It's pretty much the only one we haven't
I was
implemented.
gonna say you do like everything. What are you talking about?
So we've talked about it for a couple of years. It just hasn't bubbled up as a priority for us, but I think I'm excited to go sit in a session dedicated to it just to see how people are using it and uh, and the benefits. So
Sounds like you're gonna have a jam-packed week.
always, I've always got multiple sessions,
Yeah, no, I
any
love it.
time block that I want to see.
Well, other sessions just for folks too that I would probably call out would be Lyle's keynote, Lyle and Paul's keynote, always a great way to start the conference with us.
Yeah,
And then Keith and Jeff Erickson are doing the roadmap. So at least for anybody that's never been, those are some great sessions to just level set for you guys.
yeah,
And then to dive a little bit deeper, I think, into the content that we have going on.
yeah. That's one of the big benefits of all the conferences is getting to hear directly from Oracle. Um, you know, attending sessions with them, you get to meet them and talk to them if you want to. And um, for those of us running JD Edwards, having that insight is really valuable.
Yeah, I'm, always impressed with them of how involved they get into our events itself. And, in the digital format, I feel like they've
Yeah.
even just brought even more engagement, which I wasn't even sure that was possible, honestly.
Right.
But, they're bringing their full teams, different areas. So you got people from support and development and product strategy. You got folks globally that are helping out. So it'd be really cool to just see them get involved with all their sessions. They'll be part of networking, some great opportunities to meet, and some one-on-one meetings they're going to offer out. So for folks that have never engaged with Oracle, this is a great opportunity, I would say.
It really is.
Will sessions be recorded? Yes, sessions will be recorded during the event. They actually will have real-time access. So as soon as a session ends, within about 5 minutes, probably less than that, the sessions will be available for you to watch again. There also is chat features and polls and Q&A, so you'll be able to engage with folks through the chat, through the polls and questions. Something that we saw that was really cool is that people were going back and answering questions even after the fact their sessions were over, or you also had attendees answering questions. So as the speaker was doing something, there was a lot of questioning of what customers were doing this, who's doing this. So you get that extra piece. In addition to the recordings being available during the week of the event, you get 30-day access after the event as well to participate in it. So you'll be able to get back in and log in and watch those videos itself. Green here. So if you go to register, we've got a couple of different price options for you. Individual rate, which means the individual that purchases the event, it goes for $279 or $379 for early bird. And then the corporate pass, which means everybody in your company gets to participate at $1,800 or $2,700. Great opportunity for you guys to come and participate for everybody. And then if you are interested in participating in both events with us, we do also have a um, value where you can buy both events for $29.50. That's again another great value there for you all. So that is a little bit of just around the pricing options and what we have. I would say available. Again, we'll send out more information around actually how to get that information there. So let me stop my screen sharing here. And before we wrap up, Chantel, I just want to go back to you. Is there anything else that we've maybe missed or anything that you just think attendees would like to know?
My only other thought is I just want to give a shout out to Quest. You guys have done an amazing job reimagining the conferences in the virtual environment. I love attending the conferences. I miss seeing people and everything, but I just want to give you guys a hand because I think you've done a great job of just translating it online and bringing the features we all love to the virtual world. So,
Well, thank you so much for saying that. I mean, I think our teams worked really hard on that, and we really appreciate you and the rest of the knowledge committees, SIG leaders, I mean, speakers, volunteers, you name it. You guys are all part of making this a successful event for us, right? Like the feedback that you guys have given us. So we're really thankful for all your help, and we look forward to seeing you guys in Focus Envision in April.